Clause 4 is the prevention duty. This is a big one we've all heard a lot about, I expect. And now we have section 195 in the Act, and this places a duty on local authorities to take steps to prevent homelessness whenever we consider a person is eligible for assistance and threatened with homelessness within a period of 56 days. So the reasonable steps, as we've just mentioned, are going to be set out and delivered in the form of a personalised housing plan, and the steps under the prevention duty are going to be steps to take steps to help the person secure, ideally retain the accommodation that they're currently in to stop homelessness occurring, or where that's not appropriate or possible, to take steps to help them to secure alternative accommodation, still to prevent homelessness. The prevention duty will take effect for a period of up to 56 days from the date that the local authority is satisfied that the person is eligible and threatened with homelessness. And again, the impact of this impact of this clause is that we're going to be preventing homelessness for a significantly greater amount of people. It's going to be every single person. If they're eligible and threatened with homelessness, the prevention duty will apply.
So, what do you need to do? What you have to do is take reasonable steps to try and prevent the person from becoming homeless. So you're going to have to come up with some reasonable steps for everybody that you owe a duty to. You won't be able to prevent homelessness for everyone, but you do have to come up with those reasonable steps, and you have to carry out those reasonable steps. So what we're suggesting here is review your current practices, because hopefully you're already doing prevention work. It's kind of reviewing what you're doing and what tools you've got, what outcomes you're getting, and looking at actually focusing on an earlier intervention, given that you will now have a duty 56 days before if they're threatened with homelessness within 56 days. So it is, you will have to kind of look at coming up with ways of engaging with people earlier and looking at more prevention tools. Look at new options and new ways to prevent homelessness. So some of the things, you're probably already doing these, but mediation services, looking at working with households that are threatened with exclusion, seeing how you can actually mediate with parents, and home visits, looking at doing home visits, visiting officers. Obviously having funds to prevent homelessness, whether it's through financial payments to help with rent arrears, mortgage arrears, that sort of thing. Joint working with partners is absolutely critical. We'll come on to the duty to refer later, but you certainly need to be working very closely with the partner organisations and look at your protocols around hospital discharge, prison discharge, that sort of thing. Look at all options for partners to help you. You don't have to do it all yourself, and you're probably already working with lots of partners who you either commission or they do work to prevent homelessness. So it's actually looking at bringing that in to the actual statutory framework to kind of maximise the options that are available, and looking at, do you want to actually set up any specialist advice services or procure any specialist services for domestic abuse, for example, or other specialisms? And do you want to have a team specifically dealing with singles and another team dealing with families? How is your service going to look to make sure that you're able to give the best options to everybody?